Yo, what's up Bali? How you guys doing? Apa kabar and selamat pagi. This video is the latest update about the requirement if you want to do business in Bali, in Indonesia. I'm gonna talk about the legal for you to own business in Indonesia, in Bali, the legal for foreigners for you to work in Bali, in Indonesia, and the legal for you to stay in Indonesia as the owner of the business. So watch this video until the end. My name is Hakim Sam, your host in Bali. Welcome to What's Up Bali channel, the #1 channel for you to know how to go to Bali, how to live in Bali, and condition in Bali now. If it is on those, consider to subscribe. Guys, what's up? I'm gonna divide this video into 3 parts. Part 1 is how to own business in Bali, in Indonesia. Part 2, how to stay in Bali as a business owner. Part 3, how to work in your business in Bali, in Indonesia. Please pay attention because it's quite confusing. So make sure you watch this video until the end. I will do my best to explain it to you as clearly, as easy as possible. Let's get started. Part 1, how foreigners own business in Bali, in Indonesia. To own business in Bali, in Indonesia, a foreigner must have a PT PMA, which is the LLC for foreigners, the limited liability company for foreigners if in the United States. But if in UK, if I'm not mistaken, it's LTD. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, you need the PTPMA in order for you to own a business. And this is how you can apply a PTPMA. First, you must know what business are you planning to do or are you planning to open in Indonesia, in Bali. So you cannot make a PTPMA without knowing what you're gonna do, without knowing what business you want to open, because we have to mention it in your business permit. Restaurant, maybe a villa renting, a boutique, whatever. But remember, PTPMA only can do medium to big businesses because the small businesses is protected for local. Let me give you an example. If it's a restaurant like this, a restaurant, a coffee shop or cafe, if PTPMA, it requires at least 50 chairs. We cannot less than that. If it's less than 50 chairs, it will consider as small business. Excuse me. If it's less than 50 chairs, it will consider as small businesses, protected for local. And if you want to have a resort like mine, if you want to have a resort like that, you have to have the resort on at least 4,000 square meters. If it's less than 4,000 square meters, you cannot. Protected for local, and so on. So I suggest discuss with your agent what you plan to do first, or with me if you want me to be your agent. This is my email. Okay. That's number 1. You have to know first what you want to do. Number 2, a PTPMA requires at least 2 shareholders. Can be all foreigners, can be mixed with local. Can be here in Bali, can be also stay in their country. So if you have a partner, let's say maybe your partner is your brother and your brother doesn't want to stay in Bali, it's okay. And it doesn't have to be 50-50%, can be 99% to 1%. So let's say you got 99% as a director and you stay here in Bali and your brother only has 1% and he just stay there in his country, it's okay. But remember, you have to be the director. Why? Because the director is the one can open up bank account, the PTPMA bank account in Indonesia. And in order to open up PTPMA bank account, the director must have kitas. Can be investor kitas, can be working kitas, can be whatever, but must have kitas. And your partner, if your partner doesn't want to live in Bali, in Indonesia, then your partner don't need to apply kitas. And to be the director, it doesn't need to be the majority. You can be the director even only 5% of the total share. It's okay. Okay, that's number 2. So number 1, you have to know what business you want to do. Number 2, it requires at least 2 shareholders in the PTPMA. Can be more. And number 3, PTPMA must at least have 10 billion Indonesian rupiah capital plan. It's a capital plan, not money that you have to invest in the beginning. It's a capital plan. And you have to make a report later on every 3 months to the government online. I already talked about it in this video, how to make a report. And I already also make a video about what you have to do after you got your PTPMA in this video. I mentioned both video links in the description. Okay, I think it's clear now how to own business in Indonesia, in Bali. Now we go to part 2, how to stay in Bali as owner of a business, as the owner of a PTPMA. In order to stay in Bali as a shareholder, you can apply any kitas. But if you're a director, there's 2 options, either the investor kitas or the working kitas. If you also want to work in your business, we're gonna cover that in part 3. But anyway, the director must have kitas. But The rest of shareholders, if they don't want to stay here in Bali, if they don't want to live here in Bali, they don't need to apply KITAS because the director requires KITAS in order to open the PTPMA bank account. Now, I mentioned about working KITAS and investor KITAS earlier. So what is the difference between investor KITAS for director and the working KITAS for director? These are the different. Investor KITAS is a staying permit. Remember, it's a staying permit, not permit to open up business. It's staying permit. The permit to open up business is the PTPMA that we covered already in part 1. So, investor KITAS is a staying permit for the shareholders who want to own business. That's it. The owner of this investor KITAS not allowed to work, not allowed to interact directly with the clients. The investor KITAS, the boss must hire somebody to work for him or for her. And in order to apply this investor KITAS, he or she must have at least 10 billion Indonesian rupiah share value in his or her PTPMA. I think it's clear now. Now, how about the working KITAS? The working KITAS is for foreigners who want to work in Bali, in Indonesia. He or she can be one of the shareholders or can be just somebody from outside the PTPMA. So there's no mandatory of owning shares in the PTPMA to apply the working KITAS. So to apply working KITAS, no need to have 10 billion Indonesian rupiah share value as it requires for investor KITAS. The good thing is if the director has a working KITAS, he can work in his own business. He can interact directly with his client. And the bad thing is, working KITAS is much expensive than the investor KITAS. I don't want to mention the price here. Please send me email if you want to know more details. Okay, what about if the director already had investor KITAS, but then he decided to work in his business or in her business? Let's say to minimize operational costs. Let's say the director wants to minimize number of his staff or her staff. It normally happens especially for a business which is just started. So the business can start only with minimum number of staff if the director involved in the operation. Well, anyway, this is the answer. If the director, which already has investor KITAS, want to work in his business or in her business, then he must apply the working permit. It's not to the immigration, but apply the working permit to the Minister of Manpower. So remember the working KITAS that I mentioned earlier? And yes, so this is other way around. If the investor KITAS want to apply working permit, the director must get the KITAS first, then apply the working permit. But if it's for working KITAS, the foreigners must get the working permit first, then apply the working KITAS. And that covers the part 3, how to work in your own business in Bali, in Indonesia. By get the working permit, then apply the working KITAS, or get the investor KITAS, then apply the working permit. I hope now it's clear. If you still have a question, send me email. And that's it from now. Hit the subscribe button for those who haven't, and smash notification bell so you won't miss any update from me regarding how to go to Bali, how to live in Bali, and condition in Bali now. My name is Okimisa, signing off from What's Up Bali Coffee Shop.
Discover the hidden gem of Ubud at Taman Sakti Resort, an oasis of elegance and serenity where traditional Balinese charm meets modern luxury. Nestled amidst lush tropical gardens, emerald rice terraces, and towering palm trees, our resort seamlessly blends into the island's breathtaking landscapes. Indulge in luxurious accommodations that combine traditional architecture with contemporary comforts, and rejuvenate your spirit with activities ranging from sunrise yoga sessions to soul-nourishing spa therapies. Immerse yourself in Bali's rich cultural heritage as you explore nearby ancient temples, vibrant art markets, and enchanting dance performances. At Taman Sakti Resort, we invite you to experience the magic of Bali and create unforgettable memories that will last a lifetime.